Welcome back. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. March 2nd through the 5th. We're just a couple weeks away. They are coming to Knoxville. It's the Downtown Knoxville Boat Show at the Downtown Convention Center. That means Madisonville Marine will be bringing all sorts of makes and models of boats to Knoxville, and it also means great deals. Madisonville Marine, madmarine.com to learn more about these folks. Okay. Back with Chuck, Mark, and Josh. It was announced last week that Texas and Oklahoma couldn't cut a deal. They weren't coming. Then everybody went back to the table and said, okay, let's cut a deal and get this done. So it was announced a couple of days ago, Texas and Oklahoma are coming. All it cost them was $100 million to get out of their deal and to get into the SEC a year sooner. So in summer 2024, they will be in the SEC. All focus is on football because that's what the TV contracts are, right, and that's why they're adding teams at this point. But let's look at it from a basketball standpoint, Mark. Those are two pretty good programs. Texas, you saw them earlier this year. They're in the running for a 2 seed, a 3 seed in the tournament as it stands right now. Oklahoma not having a great year, but traditionally it's a very good basketball school. What does it mean for the SEC to add two pretty good programs, or am I overselling those two programs?
No, I think none of that. It adds that recruiting op-ed. You know, you got Baylor that's in Texas, Texas Tech, that now with the SEC, all the excitement around that conference, being able to get into that recruiting footprint is big time. And then, yes, they've got really good history of those basketball programs. Texas has got it rolling. Porter Moser, who used to be at Loyola at Oklahoma now, there's thoughts that he'll get it rolling. So it's exciting for the SEC.
Chuck, Josh, it just looks like another two teams for Tennessee to have to get by. Same for everybody, but it makes the league tougher, I think. You're not adding bottom-tier teams here.
Yeah, those are real basketball programs, and I say that with all due respect to the SEC teams, which is not much for some of them. Some of them pretend, like, hey, we're going to care about basketball, and then it doesn't work out. It's like, well, we don't actually care because we're a football school anyway. Texas and Oklahoma care, and fans care about them. When Texas was playing Tennessee the last 2 years, fans cared about that match. I mean, there's, of course, the Rick Barnes connection to it, but you can remove Rick Barnes, and people are going to have strong opinions about Texas, and I think Oklahoma too. So the more fans care about the matchups, the more interesting it is for the league.
And kind of to Mark's point, boy, watch out if Oklahoma gets it back, because Texas looks like that they've got it rolling. They've been through a lot of their own kind of turmoil themselves with the coaching situation and some other things. But if Oklahoma gets back to where they were like a few years ago, where you thought they were in the mix to be in the Sweet 16 Final Four, it just makes it that much tougher on Tennessee.
It's also a lot scarier when you're just coming off of losses to Vanderbilt, Missouri, who are not basketball schools, and you're bringing in two pretty solid basketball programs.
Yeah. Let me take a look at the SEC tournament, what it's going to look like. One would assume they'll just go to a simple everybody plays a 16-team tournament, so no buys anymore, you wouldn't think. A single elimination, obviously. And the way I seeded this was just by this year's NCAA net rankings before yesterday, so Tennessee was still a 2 seed. But, I mean, Alabama versus South Carolina, Florida versus Mississippi State, Arkansas versus Ole Miss, Auburn versus Vandy, Tennessee versus LSU, Kentucky versus Missouri, Texas versus Georgia, Texas A&M versus Oklahoma. That's a lot of good basketball programs. I mean, granted, you're right, the SEC is known for its football, but now you've got enough real basketball programs in there that, for the first time, you may be up there with, in my opinion, the first time you may be up there with somebody wanting to say, well, you want to watch the ACC tournament or the SEC tournament? Somebody may finally say, oh, I want to watch the SEC tournament. For years, it's been the ACC. For years, it's been Big 12 or something else. That's legit. And if you're a fan looking to buy 4 days worth of tickets, that's great action. You don't have to worry about this buy crap anymore. It's boom, you right in it, 16 teams. Mark, your thoughts.
Top-notch basketball. It'll be interesting to see because as you've talked about a bunch, college basketball is so much an NCAA sport. Would they do something where they give the top 4 or a couple of the top seeds a bye to help prepare them for the NCAA tournament? Because you're just adding another game in there before the NCAA tournament, which the leagues want their teams to be fresh so they can make a further run in the NCAA tournament.
Leave it to the SEC to overcomplicate this. Just 16 teams, it's even.
Yeah, coaches of those top teams, though, that are thinking national
Oh,
championship run, they won't be happy about having
No.
to play 4 rounds of games.
No, but for years, that's what a lot of these bigger leagues
Yeah.
have done.
Yeah.
Mark, thanks for coming in today. I appreciate
sir.
it, man. And when we come back, let's talk about this SEC expansion and the fact that Texas and Oklahoma are coming. What does that mean for scheduling? It's now, you're to the point. There's no more speculating. Is it going to be an 8-game schedule? Is it going to be a 9-game schedule? Or will it just come down to whichever one ESPN's willing to pay for? Come on back, we'll discuss next on the Sports Source.